Sunday's Gospel. This Sunday is the 22nd Sunday in Ordinary Time, and the Gospel is taken from Luke again. And this time Jesus is invited to the house of a leading Pharisee for a meal on the Sabbath, and the people are watching him closely. He notices how the guests choose the places of honour to sit. He tells them a parable. He says, when you are invited to a wedding banquet, don't sit at the place of honour, lest someone more distinguished than you has been invited by the host, and then your host, who has invited both of you, will come and say, give this person your place. And then in disgrace you will start to take your seat at the lowest place at the lowest seat. And when you're invited, take the lowest place, and then your host may come to you and say, friend, go up higher, and you will be honoured in the eyes of all who sit at the table with you. All of us who humble ourselves will be exalted, and all who exalt themselves will be humbled. He told the host this. He said to the host, when you give a luncheon or a dinner, don't invite your friends, relatives, brothers, rich neighbours, lest in return you are repaid, and then they invite you in return, and then you will be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the lame, crippled and the blind, because they can't repay you, and you will be or they can't invite you in return, and you will be repaid in the resurrection of the righteous. These are quite confronting words that Jesus, or stories. And remember, they're watching him, I remember there was a Colombian priest in the Philippines working in the island of Negros, Neil O'Brien. He said that a group of villagers came to him and asked if he would come and say Mass for them. And he said, go back to the village and find out who the poor are and get to know them, and the widows, and gather together around the word, and then come back, and I'll come and say Mass for you. When Jesus speaks about inviting these, the poor, the lame, the blind, the crippled, our Eucharists have, and we don't even know who they are, let alone invite them. And so it's a very confronting image for us. It's a kind of an image of how the kingdom, the wedding banquet, could be. The first story about taking the lowest place, well, it certainly means we won't get embarrassed, but it's also our Eucharists, once again, they are for the respectable ones. We all have our places of honour, especially the priest. But it's the initiative, it's leaving the initiative to God, the host, leaving the host to give us a place and honour, which is what really Father does for each one of us without distinction, and a place of honour to know that it's not our choice, it's our taking it, as it were. It's receiving from Him this place.